So hello guys and welcome to Music Business Academy in Berlin, and I'm so happy to have here for me one of the most iconic persons in the Berlin industry. We met really long time ago. Actually, she's really friend of Alex Montoya, the boss from Music Business Academy, and I just want to say thank you so much to Carola for being here
Thank you for having me.
and be part of the first round of interviews. And I just wanna start, like, for the people that maybe doesn't know you, you can explain who is Carola and what is your role into the industry.
My name is Carola Stoiber. I'm living in Berlin since mid of the 80s. I'm running the agency Pullproxy. That's an agency for artist booking and release and artist publicity. And I used to manage Tresor Records, the label of the club, and started to work for and with Tresor even before it was called Tresor, end of the 80s, when I was still studying. So I'm not the youngest raver anymore.
Okay, great to know, great to know. And I mean, especially like with all this kind of background which you have, what you would say is your routine day by day, like how you handle your weekly, daily stuff.
I usually go to the computer at
Okay.
some point in the morning and start working on the projects that are on my desk, which are different ones, depends.
Okay.
Sometimes it's more booking, sometimes now more publicity, sometimes event organizing as well still.
So
So-
you feel like you're a structured person, or you sometimes feel in the flow and just like.
No, I'm very structured in the way of when work has to be done, because if you run a business, you cannot party until Monday and go to the office on Wednesday, because usually Monday, Tuesday, latest Tuesday, the artists are all back and want to know what's going on next and wake up after the weekend in normal times. So you have to be very structured. But I also, if I work with intercontinental artists, then you have to talk later in the evening because the time differences, and then you have to work late. Then usually the next day I start a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's better just to planning everything, and especially working with such a big artist.
So there are office times,
Office.
but they are flexible.
Okay. And as you mentioned, you are the owner from Pullproxy, really well-known agency and publishing. And how do you think, like, how are the keys, or what is the how did you get so much of success into the market with Pullproxy? What is your, how did you do it? How did you did it? Tell us the secret, if there is a secret.
Oh, this recipe is hard, not easy for me to tell, so that people know how it goes. And I studied it. Usually you don't announce your recipes. That was a joke. No,
Yeah.
the good cooks don't say how they cook it. I think it's because of a lot of factors. There is, of course, experience I have, which is due to the fact that my history is quite long.
Yeah, exactly.
I worked in different fields of the business and levels. I studied, I also worked as an editor. I can write, I worked in promotion, I worked in organization for a label. I worked with artists from the scratch signing to getting a record out.
Exactly.
So that's one point, I think. And then, of course, it's a team. It's always a team. I have great colleagues. I work with Dina. She's also a DJ with Local Suicide. I work with Diego, who is also a DJ and musician. And they love music. We all love music. And we are also out a lot, meeting people. And I guess that's the recipe as well. So the mixture of, in this case, experience and they also have experience, of course.
Yeah.
My one is due to the fact that I'm older, a little bit longer, and the passion for music.
Exactly, I think like love, passion, and dedication, you know, and also like work with a really good team, no, makes all the perfect for this recipe, no.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm interested, and that the people know, especially like you work so many years for huge brands like Tresor and now Pullproxy, like you have so many contact with big artists. How do you handle this relation with the big artists in terms of to plan, I don't know, the tours or the music? Like you work like year in advance, or you prefer to take like for seasons? Like how you go with this artist management?
It depends a little bit on the artist, where they are based, he or she is based. If they fly from Europe, for example, then of course you do the bookings from Europe. If they're coming intercontinental, then you have to, of course, discuss the schedule. When can you come over? When is a good time? Not in January when it's difficult. And then you discuss the year. So usually beginning of the year, I talk to the artist and also check with them which goals do they have, what they want to achieve this year, which releases are coming, how can we promote it, how can we bridge times where nothing is happening release-wise so that they stay in the rotation of media. And then, then it's organized this way. And end of the year, of course, is an analysis. Yeah. And you sit again, sometimes in between as well, okay, this done, this is what we wanted, this happened, this not yet this year, but maybe next year, and if more difficult, find ways to make it happen. So it's all connected in a way.
Yeah, so we were talking about like publishing in Pullproxy and how you help so many artists over years and years, especially like to in the financial way and how to get rentability from all the work in the studio. So I just want to ask you how you do it, like with the artists in the way studio, financial, invest money, and how is this planification?
There is a little bit of a difference now because I'm not actually running a label. I did.
Yeah.
So there I did financial planning. You have to see how much is the 4-colored cover, full cover, how many records do you need to sell to break even to get the cost back in. But if artists now need this help in the calculation or consulting, I can do that.
Okay.
And depending on if they run their own labels for a long time or if they start to run the labels, and depending on their status, I can give a little bit of advice, of course, how to work this best. But in general, of course, you always have to calculate well for releases. And as vinyl is still there, which is important, also here, of course, you need to check. How much do I need to spend to, like I said, break even and then have the money back in? Because you also have to look at the label and the cost and the turnover separately from everything else.
Are you a vinyl lover?
Yeah. Of course, I'm a vinyl lover.
This is important.
Because also because digital labels good and they're there, and doesn't mean that the music is not so high quality.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you get a vinyl in your hand, or you can give a vinyl out to people, then for me, for example, it's a work, it's appreciated, you put it, and you look for it again at one point. Oh, now I want to play this track. And then you grab the record, and the whole process is different than just clicking.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like when you take the vinyl, something just to see the cover, you can remember the track.
Exactly.
It's also that to just selecting, no, because the DJ now became more DJ and sometimes not music selector, which back in the day was also some music selector. So taking the vinyl, take away the process, like enjoy the process, not turn around in the DJ booth and look for the DJ booth.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, even if a lot of DJs now go out and play MP3s or if they have vinyl, the ones that are coming from the vinyl, they still want to have it from the music they love, because they put it in their shelf, and it's something that is about you, your collection.
Exactly. And okay, and talking about like the sad situation which we are living since March 2020 with the pandemic and all Corona, how this affect to your life? I mean, did change your routine also in your personal one and also like for Pullproxy, and what is the present goals and future things for you?
Of course, it changed everything completely. But now I found a structure again to act in the smaller work we have now. So the booking stopped at 0, and the publicity is going on. People still work with us and want to work with us for artists and release publicity, which is great. I hope that stays on, but as this is also connected to club life, might become difficult as well at one point. Luckily, we not only have techno artists and releases, also other genres, which is good for us, luckily. And we are doing mostly home office. Only one time a week. I meet with Diego at the office. Only us two, and then we do Skypes and go out for walks and have the meeting and the talks when we meet and walk.
It's important to still have this kind of team connection somehow.
Because for me it's very important. If I would be at home only all the time with my computer, and I would get crazy.
Yeah, me too. It's this is what we need, not this kind of contact with people and just create this environment that will help us to back to the reality.
Yeah, you need brainstorming also. If you work on an artist booking or on a release, you need to exchange ideas and to also to get this energy and this motivation.
Yeah.
If you're at home, okay, I try this now. Then at one point you get depressed.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why, like, now talking about social media, how is Carola on social media?
Very bad. I'm very bad. I like to socialize in person.
This is really nice. Actually, when social media became really important now for artists more than ever, because how we cannot, like, or people cannot play, now maybe social media could be a platform, became also this kind of like promoters or clubs only check numbers and don't really check the real talent of what is going on over there. So numbers became more stronger sometimes than music, and it's sad.
I agree. So even if I'm very bad in my social networks, of course, the artists have to be very active. But this is also something that is important. The artist is doing it because it's between the people and the artist, and it can't be done. Of course, I know that some have social network managers, social media managers. But if an artist posts something, it's different because it's more personal, and people want that.
Yeah, so for someone who is working in the nightlife since really long time ago and so many experience, I want to ask you what is for you networking, which is actually a really like key to success in the industry, and I want to ask you how was networking back in the days and what is now for you, or how it changed?
In general, networking is what you need to do to get something going in general, because if you meet this person there and he does this or she does this at the moment, maybe in 2 years you meet again and you meet on another project together. So this is very important, and it's nothing new, as we know. Just the forms are a little bit different now, because people think they do networking by the social media, which they do, to get clicks or to get attention, but this does not necessarily mean that you become, how you say it, not friends, but but you met each other and closer, and then you get in touch at one point sometime. How are you? What are you doing? Okay, you're doing this project. I'm doing this now at the moment. So that's a different thing. So if you definition of networking and networking in social media is, I think, different.
Yeah, because actually, I mean, one part of the agencies, of course, is to get the booking for the artist, but there is also really important work from the artist, like when he arrived to the country, also to go to the dinner with the promoter, get closer to talk, because there is a part of the job which agencies does, but then the artists also need to work. It's not only go and play. It's also like to get in contact with to talk, because you can I know so many promoters who sometimes say like really great music, but the guy didn't talk with us, he then came to the dinner, he was really which I completely understand if the person is that way, but also the agencies need to say to the artist, hey, please be social somehow, no?
Oh yes, we do.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
But I mean, of course, sometimes when an artist is tired after a long flight and then misses the dinner, okay, that's possible. But usually they should know that this is part of the job. And as an agent, I also, not so often anymore, but I flew out a lot of times.
Okay, nice.
Also to meet the promoters, of course, to meet face and face and support and also see how that club is and how the crowd is.
Yeah, this is really great. You can have also your own overview about what's going on in this country, and then you can plan for other artists in the future. And talking about artists, what do you will say like Pullproxy will take care of for the newcomers who maybe want to join the agency, or what do you think is like you are looking for in new talents? What is for you?
New talents, not so known yet.
Yeah.
Call it like this, artists need to have. Then we ask for talent, music that is a little bit special, that stands out a little bit in the production or in the mixes. You usually can figure that out when you hear it. And then also a little bit of the marketing plan. You cannot just expect that you're a not so known artist yet and then get a lot of gigs. You have to have releases, you have to be able to produce, you have to have the plan. Also, an album release at one point is important because that gives gets more attention from the media, and then go step by step, which is also including social media. Has to be done by the artist.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, just having a little bit of an idea that it's not just I make some music and then I become a star.
Yeah, of course, because in the end it's a process. No, it's like what we talk. No, and now social media create this reality like we need to play in big festivals immediately, and it's really important to enjoy the journey and to learn from every single step. But now I think social media sometimes create on us this picture on our minds that it's gonna be rock and roll star in 2 days,
which is not happening.
Not happen, no.
Which is not happening. Festivals don't book artists on the way to become famous, or you play very early at 11 in the morning when nobody is there yet.
Yeah.
So that's good also then at one point for the experience, but also if you start as a DJ or a musician to play a club or to play a festival stage, it's a different thing, and you have to have also some experience to work that out. And you need to check what is the crowd here, how is the crowd here. It's you play different tracks too.
And going a little bit more about Pullproxy and what you do with the agency, there is a huge point in a DJ career, music career called publicity, which not everyone knows about it, and it's a thing like belongs to the publishing and more people is really into. I want to know your opinion, like what's going on right now with the publicity, and if you can tell to the people more about what means really publicity in order to get more repercussion for the artists.
Publicity means that you have an agency, or if you're capable of doing that on your own, that makes sure that your release, the music gets out to the people who need to have it, which is also here different levels. The DJs need to have this because you want them to play your tracks, you want to get listed and supported by bigger names so that the way up is starting. and also collaborations can happen because DJs usually are also producers. So that's
The main thing.
with the musical part, and then of course there's the media, the journalists, because you need to have people hear about your release, and you need to get people to write about it, to do interviews with you, so that you can express yourself as well. This goes online now, mainly print magazines. There are not so many left, but some are there still. And we also, what we do a lot is getting premieres for tracks. So before the release is done, that quite big SoundCloud or website channels who do premieres are having the track exclusive beforehand, and then fans can pre-order, so that you get a little bit attention and focus to also the potential fans you have.
Yeah, it's really great to talk about this because I think publicity become really important in terms to success for artists. And how I say, I think not so many people know about it, no? So it's always nice to have the point of view from your agency. And
also, it's not just because the agency is doing this. It's really an important part of the game. Although it was always there. You also, beforehand with bands, they also had promoters before they went on tour, and when the album comes out, it was done more print press back in the days. But it was a big part of it.
Okay, and to finish this lovely conversation, any advice that you will want to say to people who want to work in this wonderful world which we are living, but it's hard sometimes, like for upcoming bookers or managers, any advice that you want to tell them?
Yeah, I can tell in general, always try the best you can, push yourself to your personal limit at that point. Whatever you do your best, and then you can say, okay, I did my best, great, and this is what it is now. If it's a record, or if it's a booking, or if it's a publicity result. Be honest.
Important.
Keep your word. And also stay respectful with all the people you work with. There is, on all levels, also competition, which is good. It has to be competition. But that doesn't mean that you should not be respectful and not support each other. Because even if there's competition and there's a general supporting point, then it's very important, because this makes it whole. Makes it in a whole. This is a whole scene, industry, movement, and it has to have that we stick together, even if there is competition. And then also important, do stay on the ground and do a reality check from time to time.
So I think this is a really great highlight to finish this chat. Thanks again, gracias Carola, for your time. It was such a pleasure to chat and to have like a time with someone who, I would say, built it up what we are living right now. And I always say, like, the people, my generation, should be really grateful to your generation, because what we are enjoying right now is because you work so hard to provide to us what we are living now.
That was very nice. Thank you very much. And I would like to add one more thing now.
Yeah, of course.
It's very important also. It's really teamwork. It's not just the artists, not just the bookers, not just the promoters. It's also the technicians, the light people, the bar people.
Yeah,
everybody is there. This all has to interlock to make things happen.
I get goosebumps actually listening to you and seeing you, because sometimes we forgot these people, no, like people in the bars, the technicians. So we are a team, and we need to get unified to bring a really healthy industry, no? And yeah, that's it. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.